Hello and welcome back to another episode, guys. Today we are talking about Shenmue, the anime, episode 1. I have to say, first and foremost, the fact that we are getting this thing and that it exists is mind-boggling, to say the least. Shenmue is a series that, God, I've loved ever since 9999, the day the Sega Dreamcast came out. So to get it here is pretty crazy, right? Because it was the most expensive video game ever made and it sort of flopped. Got a sequel. It came out for the Xbox, Sega Dreamcast as well, but really more so the Xbox. And then it was dead for many years until I think it was E3, was it 2014, maybe 2015, when we got the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter at E3. And then that did lead to the eventual Shenmue 3. And now we're still kind of dormant. So, it's been like 20 years, 20, 22, 23 years, and we still don't even know really the end of this story, let alone kind of the middle of it, to say the least. Developed by Yu Suzuki, the same guy who did some of those classic Sega arcade games like Outrun and Afterburner, stuff, Space Harrier, some of those like massive games back there in the 80s, early 90s. So anyway, I'm going to show some footage here of the game and then use some screenshots to show you some of the comparison, because it's pretty insane, to say the least, just how close the game is to how close the animation is. I mean, it's almost like I've played it enough to know that, man, it's almost like word for word the opening of Shenmue. A lot of the animation is exactly the same. So we're getting 13 episodes. This is episode 1, Thunderclap is what it's called. And it's kind of cool because it's mostly just the first little intro of Shenmue, which I think is around 8 minutes. That's sort of the opening bit of cutscenes, and it's in a 23-minute episode. We get a little footage there at the very beginning, like Shenmue 3, which takes place right in China. So you go from Shenmue 1 in Japan. The story of that is Ryo Hazuki finding out that his father has been killed. We see that in this episode. He's coming home from school, and his father is fighting somebody named Lan Di, who's searching for this mirror. And there's two mirrors. We see that in the opening as well, and it's kind of a big theme of the game. And even today, we still don't even know what would happen if these mirrors are put together, which is supposed to be the thing, the dragon mirror and the phoenix mirror. So that's ultimately what we're going to find out. Hopefully, if this anime gets maybe like 2 to 3 seasons and we get the full story of Shenmue. But just to circle back here to the episode 1 itself, it was really, really, really cool getting to see this in animation style. I watched it both in Japanese and in English and really loved both. It's on Crunchyroll and Adult Swim. Crunchyroll only has the Japanese version, and Adult Swim has the English version. So I really loved the animation in this. I thought the style looked very good. All of the characters look, they look accurate, to say the least. Even somebody like Tom, right, who's the hot dog salesman, comes across maybe a little like not like cringy, but just sort of like, maybe a little, but that's sort of accurate to his character back in the day, right? So I thought that was really cool getting to see Nozomi. I like the way she looks in this much better than the way she looks in the game. Now, remember, these are Dreamcast games, which for the time, the graphics were pretty awesome and insane, but they've certainly shown their age a little bit over the years, to say the least. So we get that, and it mostly goes up to the part really where the opening cutscene kind of ends. We get a little bit of Ryu's day before the opening cutscene, where he's running home in the snow. He sees that the dojo has been broken into. Ine-san's on the ground, been attacked. Folk-san gets kicked out of the dojo, and then he goes inside to see his father fighting Lan Di. And literally, I'm showing some of the footage here from the game. It's almost frame for frame exactly the same, which is so cool. I like the voice acting in both. I thought the voice acting in English, it's not the same voice actors that are in, obviously, Shenmue 1, which I'm just so used to having played it over the years, but I did like all of the voice acting. I thought it was great in both. I'm probably going to end up watching both English and Japanese versions. So the only really sort of, I guess if you want to say canon differences between the two is that Ryu is attacked in the anime, and it's with a character he ends up fighting obviously later in Shenmue 1, and that's really kind of it. And then he decides, hey, I'm going to go after these people that killed my father. So it's like, I'd say it's like 90% the same, but it was kind of cool getting to see some of the stuff that happens just a little bit before, like him at school competing in a martial arts tournament and then going home. He then stops in the park where Nozomi is being attacked, and he ends up saving her, which is something that's sort of an optional quest in Shenmue in the very early parts of it. And so you get to see that fight take place there before. Then before he goes to school, you get to see him and his father talking to Yamaguchi-san, who's the old man that will teach you a pretty powerful move in the game. And when you talk to him, they talk about, well, how he was he and his father were friends. So that's kind of cool just to get a little bit of that. But so far I loved episode 1. I'm very excited to see where it goes going forward. And I think this is something that could be cool. There's a lot of properties. There's a lot of video game properties that I think would do very well as anime. We've seen that with Castlevania so far. Some other things like Sonic has had a cartoon and Super Mario has had a cartoon. But I really think that there's a lot, like Metal Gear Solid is something I think would be really, really well done in anime form. So we'll have to see ultimately. But so far, it's going to be 13 episodes. I really enjoyed episode 1. You do not have to have played the game to watch the anime. I think it's really cool if you do, because, I mean, it's an absolute love letter. Music, like the way the scenes are framed, everything is just is so accurate. So anyway, with that, guys, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And if you haven't checked out Shenmue and you want to, obviously it's on the Dreamcast. Shenmue 2 is on the original Xbox, but it was ported to sort of you can get on PC. There's a combination Shenmue HD. It's 1 and 2. As you're seeing here with the gameplay footage I have up, the cutscenes sort of zoom into a 4:3 aspect ratio, but the whole game itself is now in widescreen, and it plays great. It can be a little stiff by today's standards, but this is by far one of the most involved sort of worlds you can partake in. I mean, it was certainly open world for the time, but a lot of open world games now, they're just big empty spaces. Where this, I mean, it's like almost anything you see you can interact with, like cupboard drawers. You can open just about every cupboard drawer in this guy's house. And I know it seems kind of like not the most exciting thing, but it certainly was back in the day. So with that, guys, as always, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you like this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button or check out our podcast on iTunes or come hang out on Twitch. We'll see you next time. And as always, thanks for watching.